and welcome back to my channel. Firstly, I just wanted to thank all of you so much for enjoying the first video that I put out. It really means a lot to me, all of your kind comments and all of your kind words. You know who you are, all of my great friends. I love you guys are awesome, and it really encourages me to keep going and making more videos. Basically, I created my channel to express my love for all of my favorite groups, including BTS, ATEEZ, GOT7, 17, I could go on. And if you're interested in that type of content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It would be awesome to have you here. For today's video, I got a package in the mail. I'm not gonna do an unboxing because it was just one thing, but with that one thing, I figured that I could finally film my GOT7 signed album collection. Now, what's really funny and what kind of kicked off this collection was pettiness. Maybe a couple months ago, GOT7 came back with their album Die after maybe 2 years of knowing about GOT7, but finally with this comeback, I was like, I'm ready to stand. After You Calling My Name came out last fall, I was like, I'm ready, like, let's do it. And so I learned that M-Wave drops like signed albums, and for GOT7, they did do a signed album, but it was only limited to 3,000. And it dropped at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now I work full time, 9 to 5. At 2 a.m. I'm basically asleep. So I missed out on that, and I was super petty. And I was like, I'm going to need some GOT7 signed albums in my collection. And that kind of just got the ball rolling. Now I have 6 GOT7 signed albums in my collection. Soon to be 7. There's one more on the way. I'm just going to start off in chronological order of their album releases. The first signed album I have is the Just Right album. Now, I love this album because the title track on this is Just Right, and it's one of my favorite songs. I discovered it back in like April, and I know the song's been out for a really long time, and I went years without knowing that Just Right existed, and now it's one of my favorite songs. I just love the aesthetics of this album. It's so fun, and I love all of the colors on it. The signature is actually on the booklet on the inside here. This one was signed by Bam Bam, and I got it off of a Facebook group. For these albums, if you want to see what's inside, I'm sure there's a ton of unboxings all across YouTube. I just don't want to spend the time to do that, otherwise it'll get really long to go through all the pages and stuff. However, if there are inclusions that came with the albums, which I think only this album has inclusions, I'll show them to you right now. So this one came with the photo cards and stuff, which I was really excited about. Here's JB, Young J, and Bam Bam's photo card. So this one was really great. I think I paid maybe $50 for this one, and it came with the inclusion, so I thought it was a really good price for this. Next is my Flight Log Departure album, mini album. I have a Flight Log Arrival album coming that's signed by Young J, so I'll insert a picture of the album that's on the way. It was supposed to arrive like maybe around this time, but the tracking just hasn't been updated, so I'm assuming it's going to arrive really soon. But anyways, my mini Fly album is signed by Jin Young. So the signature is right here. And then the CD's on the back. This is my Fly album. Now before I filmed this collection video, I did go on YouTube. It is recommended to wrap your signed albums in plastic so the signatures don't fade when you display them. It's going to be interesting how I'm going to wrap this one, because this is like an insert inside of the Just Right album. And this one, the signature is like also within this little cover sleeve, which I feel like it's fine, but I don't know, part of me still thinks I should wrap it in plastic. For this album, I think I paid $30 to $40, somewhere in between there, and I also got it off of a seller on Facebook, which Facebook is great because people just want to like purge their collection, so they sell off signed albums, and oftentimes it's really good priced. This is the album that arrived today, and I'm really excited about it because I love the concept of this album. So this is my Present You Mark signed album. I got this off of Facebook, again, signed by Mark on the front, and I really like this album because the signature is like just right on top of the album, so when I want to wrap this album in plastic, it'll be really easy to do so. I didn't realize that Present You was versioned, and I'm assuming it was versioned by Member, because I took off the sleeve and it's Mark, and the entire book inside is just photos of Mark. So I'm assuming there's one for each member. I'm going to need a Jin Young and a JB signed Present You real quick. Honestly, I would buy the JJP versions of Present You without them being signed anyways. This is really, really pretty. I love the light blue of this album. I think it'll be really pretty displayed. So I was very excited to get this. Next 3 albums are basically kind of what started me on this whole GOT7 signed album train, and they were the original albums that I missed out on when they dropped on M-Wave. Also, M-Wave is an excellent source for getting signed albums. BTS and TXT, they're not on there. ATEEZ don't do M-Wave, but basically every other group does. So like Stray Kids, GOT7, 17, a bunch of girl groups. I don't think Twice does M-Wave, but it's a very great source for getting signed albums, like official signed albums from the members. It's very reliable. However, it takes a really long time. Like 17's comeback was on Monday, and they're still selling the signed Hangare albums on there until July 2nd, I think. Honestly, I'm probably not gonna see those albums until maybe September. Okay, enough of that tangent, but I finally got my signed DIE albums. Huge shout out to my friend Paula. She let me know real quick that her friend on Twitter was selling these albums, and she was like, Annie, you better get on it real fast because these are the original signed albums that I missed out on and that I was looking for. I bought 3 signed DIE albums from someone on Twitter. Originally, she was only selling Mark, Youngjae, and Jackson. Now, my other friend got the Jackson signed album. I don't know who bought Youngjae's, but I was like, I'll buy Mark, and I knew that she had the JJP signed albums, Jin Young and JB's, because my friend said so, but the seller was looking for a Yugyeom signed album, and she wasn't going to let go, or she wasn't planning on letting go of the JJP albums unless she found a signed Yugyeom. Thankfully, she found a signed Yugyeom album, and she let me purchase her signed JJP album, so Jin Young and JB's. Oh, and Jin Young and JB, they are my biases in GOT7. However, recently, it's starting to kind of just become Jin Young and JB's like my bias record, but anyways. The first one is Mark's. This is the signed version 5 with Mark's signature on it, so it just looks like that. Next is Jin Young. So Jin Young signed version 3, and that's his signature right there. Now, the DIE albums didn't come with inclusions, but I was fine with that. I was like, as long as I can get the signed album, I don't really need the photo cards anyways. Now, Jin Young's is a little smudged, but I didn't really mind that. Last one, this is JB's. He signed version 1, so you can see his signature right there. And also the seller was super kind, and she was telling me how to tell like their signatures apart because their signatures changed so much over time, and like they changed based on the different albums. And I'm getting a little bit better at recognizing their signatures now, but when I was like buying these, I was like, do you have any tips for me? She was really nice, and she was telling me like how they sign their albums and stuff. But these 3, they're probably my prized possessions. Mark, Jin Young, and JB, so I finally have my hands on them, and the price is not terrible either. I paid $60 per album on these. I looked on Twitter today actually, and someone was having a bid for her signed DIE albums, and the highest offer I think was like $200 for one signed by Jackson, and I paid $60 each for these. That was my signed GOT7 album collection. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in more videos about BTS, GOT7, 17, ATEEZ, basically all things K-pop, and you enjoy K-pop, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm really looking forward to making more videos for you guys. If you enjoyed this particular video, feel free to comment and like. It would mean a lot to me. and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!